Okay, so now just switching back to this inventory. Um, what are some, and we mentioned these, I think, what are some vulnerabilities related to inventory that a business has to manage? What are things that can happen to inventory that uh, a business needs to think about having some controls over? Yeah, yeah. So theft. So what do businesses do to manage that? They'll hire security. What else? Surveillance. Yeah, they budget for it. What do a lot like in San Francisco? No one's gone to like a Walgreens in San Francisco. Yeah, they lock it up, right? Even at like Walmart, Target, now like toothpaste, you can't just go there. You got to find someone to open up the thing, and so this is all theft prevention, okay? And that costs them money, okay? They're probably losing some sales. Um, they have to maybe have more staff. I don't know if Walmart will actually hire more people, but they're probably, it's a cost them to put up to buy the containers to have someone install them. It was all an expense to prevent theft. Exactly. Yeah. So there's an interesting thing about Trader Joe's. Okay, Trader Joe's leaves those refrigerators and their freezers open. Has anyone noticed this? Does this seem efficient use of energy? It doesn't. It's like, especially the freezer section. Okay, you go to that freezer aisle, everything is just open, right? And that is extremely, extremely costly from an energy perspective. But in their mind, it's worth it because you don't have to slide the door, and it makes actually shopping there much easier, and they can fit more people into the frozen section aisle. Okay, so this is an intentional thing that Trader Joe's has done to make their inventory, these products more accessible. But it costs them money. They're paying probably way more in just electricity bills to keep those freezers running. Trader Joe's is trying to maximize turnover. They're trying to also minimize the square footage that they need for their stores because rent is per square foot. Um, and so they're trying to have a more compact footprint to fit more items per square foot of retail space. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons that they're doing that. But yeah, a lot of it is just convenience too for the customer, and they can just be in and out faster. What other things related to inventory does a business have to manage? Yeah, yeah, damaged goods. They have to figure out a way to deal with uh, goods that come back, right? Restock them. What about when they buy from either a wholesaler or a manufacturer? Does it just go straight to the store? Yeah, but where do they usually do that? Exactly, like a warehouse or something, right? So they need to have controls in place to receive inventory, right? They need to check that it's actually what they ordered from their vendor. They need to make sure the quantity is correct, right? Um, they need to make sure those warehouse employees are not stealing, right? Because it's not just consumers stealing, employees steal too. Okay, so this is a very this area of a business's operations is very in what we call internal controls intensive. There's a lot of things that are in place to manage inventory. Some things that we mentioned, and we can just re-emphasize here. So again, the reason that we have inventory controls are to prevent fraud and theft. We also want to avoid misstatements and inaccuracies. So you want to make sure your system is robust enough to like catch mistakes before they happen. Um, and just managing inventory because like as we saw, this is money that your business is spending, right? This is like when you steal some item from a store, it's like you're stealing cash from the register because the business paid money for that inventory. Okay, so uh, the the better they can manage the inventory, the more efficient and the more profitable the business is going to be. Okay, so what are some areas? So ensuring inventory is purchased with proper authorization. So if some employee can just buy inventory on the company's account, what is the potential thing that could happen? Just think like a scammer. What would you do if you were a scammer? I'm not saying any of you are, but if you just had free access to your company's inventory ordering system, What could you do? And the accounting system, both. Yeah, what? Yeah, you just order yourself stuff, right? You just have it shipped to your house. Or you have it shipped to the warehouse, but you kind of bury the invoice, or like you get rid of the fact that it was paid for, and you just kind of take it to your house from there. Okay, so you want to make sure that things are bought with proper authorization. Um, Tracking and documenting receipt of the inventory. So again, when the inventory comes in, you want to make sure that it's what you ordered, the quantity is what you ordered. So there's going to be some systems in place where the people at the warehouse have a kind of a receiving slip where they are told what to expect, and then they'll count and make sure it's all there. Or if it's different, they're going to report that. Recording damaged inventory properly. So we mentioned that. Um, this one has to do with shrinkage. We talked about this, where the accounting system and the physical amount of the stuff is going to differ because of all the various factors we talked about: theft, mistake, spoilage, damage. So you need to also have a physical count being done. So at some point, inventory is counted, and it's made sure that there's some reconciliation with the accounting system. And then when inventory is sold, how do businesses do this? How do they manage what's not theft, but like what's actually sold? What is the way that businesses track this? How do you go and pay for stuff? Yeah, they have barcodes. They scan it. So all the barcode scanning at the cash register, that is contributing to the company's inventory management system. They know exactly, they're tracking how many of those items have been stocked on the shelves, and they're also tracking who's buying, how many of them are leaving. Okay, so that then tells them, well, we need to order more. So every time you go and you pay for stuff and they're scanning those items, that's contributing to their inventory tracking system. Okay, because larger businesses have like a real-time inventory tracking. Okay, and that's useful for them because they know when they're running low on something, they'll order more.